Thank you for visiting our channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more exciting food videos. Anzac Biscuits explained, history, ingredients and how to make them perfect. Crunchy on the edges, chewy in the middle, and packed with the flavors of coconut and golden syrup, Anzac Biscuits are more than just cookies. They're a cherished tradition in both Australia and New Zealand, steeped in history and cultural pride. Originally baked to send to soldiers during World War I, these simple yet satisfying treats symbolize resilience and remembrance. Made from pantry staples like oats, flour, sugar, and butter, the unique flavor comes from the perfect balance of golden syrup and shredded coconut. Whether you're honoring their legacy or just craving a classic homemade sweet, Anzac Biscuits are a delicious way to connect with history. The history of Anzac Biscuits. Few foods have the ability to connect history with taste quite like Anzac Biscuits. These humble yet iconic cookies carry a story of love, endurance and community that spans over a century. Crafted during a time of war and still baked with pride today, Anzac Biscuits are more than a treat, they're a symbol. Let's dive into how they came to be and why they remain a meaningful part of life in Australia and New Zealand. Origin and purpose. Anzac Biscuits were born out of practicality during World War I. Loved ones of soldiers in the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, Anzac, were looking for a way to send comfort and sustenance to the front lines. Back then, food parcels travelled long distances by sea in less than ideal conditions. Fresh food simply couldn't survive the journey, so families had to get creative. Using ingredients that were available and non-perishable, like rolled oats, flour, sugar, coconut, and golden syrup, they created a biscuit that could stay fresh for weeks. No eggs were used, as they were scarce during the war and were thought to accelerate spoilage. The resulting cookie was nutritious, energy-packed, and hearty enough to endure the trip overseas without crumbling into dust. These biscuits, which were an early version of the Anzac Biscuits we know today, became a taste of home for soldiers. They also carried emotional weight. Each bite reminded Anzac troops of the care and love behind the hands that made them, offering a small yet significant comfort during unimaginable hardships. Cultural significance today. Fast forward to present day, and Anzac Biscuits remain deeply rooted in both Australian and New Zealand culture. Their strongest association is with Anzac Day, held on April 25th each year. This day of remembrance honors the sacrifices of soldiers who served during World War I, as well as those in later conflicts. While the cookies were never officially part of military rations, they've come to symbolize the resilience and unity of the Anzac spirit. Baking and sharing Anzac Biscuits has become a time-honored tradition, especially around Anzac Day. Schools, families, and communities bake them together, keeping history alive in a tangible and delicious way. Modern recipes often stay true to the original, preserving their simplicity and authenticity, though minor tweaks, like adding a touch of spice or substituting gluten-free ingredients, are sometimes made. In today's kitchens, Anzac Biscuits serve dual roles. They're a delicious snack that holds its own among other cookies, and they're also a reflective connection to the past. Each biscuit tells a story of endurance, ingenuity, and the unbreakable ties of love and remembrance. That's a lot to pack into one humble treat, but somehow, they carry it effortlessly. Anzac Biscuits may be over 100 years old, but their legacy feels as fresh as ever. And just like back then, it's still impossible to eat one without thinking of the hands that made it and the heart behind it. Key ingredients of Anzac Biscuits. Anzac Biscuits owe their distinct flavor and texture to a handful of simple yet purposeful ingredients. Each plays a vital role in creating the biscuit's signature characteristics, from the chewiness in the center to the crisp edges. Let's explore how golden syrup, coconut, and even the absence of eggs shape this timeless recipe. The role of golden syrup. Golden syrup isn't just a sweetener, it's the backbone of Anzac Biscuits. This amber-hued syrup brings a deep, toffee-like flavor that sets these cookies apart from others. Unlike honey or sugar, golden syrup delivers a rich warmth that complements the nuttiness of oats and sharpness of coconut, But it's not just about taste. Golden syrup also acts as a binding agent, holding the ingredients together without the need for eggs. It works with the butter to create that slightly sticky texture when the dough is mixed. Once baked, it contributes to the biscuit's signature chewy insides and golden, crisp edges. Take away the golden syrup, and you'd lose that distinctive balance of flavor and texture that makes Anzac biscuits so irresistible. The importance of coconut. Shredded coconut, usually unsweetened, is a cornerstone of Anzac biscuits, adding both flavor and texture. Its subtle nuttiness creates a complex, slightly tropical flavor that lifts the biscuit's sweetness and keeps it from tasting one-dimensional. Coconut also adds tiny bursts of crunch, which play perfectly against the chewiness from the oats. In addition to its taste, coconut plays a supporting textural role. It helps to absorb moisture in the dough, ensuring the biscuits maintain their shape while baking. The result? A perfect balance between a soft center and a satisfyingly crisp bite. Whether you're a fan of coconut or not, it's hard to deny its role in making Anzac biscuits truly special. Why no eggs? If you've ever wondered why Anzac biscuits lack eggs, the answer is rooted in history. During World War I, fresh ingredients like eggs were a luxury and difficult to come by. Soldiers' families had to work with what they had, and eggs weren't a practical choice for a biscuit that needed to survive long shipping times. Enter golden syrup and melted butter, which provided enough moisture and binding power to hold the mixture together. Even today, recipes remain egg-free not just out of tradition, but because it works so well. Without eggs, these biscuits keep their dense, slightly crumbly consistency. Eggs would make them puffier and softer, which would stray from the classic texture we know and love. Their absence preserves the simplicity and authenticity of the original recipe, keeping the spirit of Anzac biscuits alive in every batch. That wraps up part 1. Now that you know the history and ingredients, we'll be jumping into the step-by-step recipe in part 2. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe.